Apologies in advance. I've been battling flu since Friday, so I struggle to even speak for long without coughing. So you will just excuse me every now and then when I have to cough or just wipe my nose a little. So as Nangi has already indicated, I work for an organization called the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, which is an agency of the Department of Economic Development. So the Department of Economic Development for the Gauteng province is responsible for the economic vision of the country. And us, as the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, we implement that economic vision. So if the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency says we need to increase exports by 5% per annum, the GGDA comes in and says, how are we going to assist that, the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency to achieve that vision? We do that by increasing the ease of doing business within the Gauteng city region, by reducing particularly the red tape that is involved in the investment space. If you look at 2010, South Africa as a whole was number around 31, 34 when it comes to the ease of doing business globally. Currently, if my memory serves me well, we are in the region of the 70s. That means we have slipped drastically when it comes to the ease of doing business. So my office, under the GGDA, we have a unit called TIRE. It stands for Trade and Investment Regulatory Enablement. So we try to enable the ease of doing business. We try to reduce all the red tape and the bureaucratic processes that are involved when you try to invest in the province. So we don't only deal with foreign direct investors, we also deal with local investors, small businesses in particular. So down on my presentation, you will see how we get to do all the work, all those things that we do through our day-to-day interactions with our investors. I think I've already touched on the introductory part of who we are as the GGDA. I don't know if the slide is not moving. Okay, so I'll just continue with what I have here. Just give me a second. Okay, so our presentation is just three-part. It's just about the GGDA, which I've briefly touched on, but I'll get into the details of it as we go down the slides. And then we're going to look at the strategic trade and export promotion, which mainly relates to our local businesses. How do we assist them to export to other countries? And then we're going to perhaps briefly look at the investment opportunities in the Gauteng city region space. I was just saying to Langi, I'm not very sure if this is the space where I should be today in terms of whether I fit or align properly with the theme for tonight. But perhaps you might gain something out of my presentation also, I hope. If we could move down the slide. So this slide basically talks about the Gauteng, the mandate of the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency. So if you briefly look at the overview, the last column, that's where we say we are responsible for attracting foreign direct investment into the country. The president has a very bold and ambitious plan to bring over 112 billion rand of investment into the country, and my organization is one of those that is entrusted with enabling the ease of doing business so that we bring that investment into the country. Interestingly, today I had a meeting with the Russian office, the Russian embassy there, an office that deals with trade and investment between South Africa and Russia. And one of the things that they said, they came to us with a proposal to say, We're not looking to bring imports into South Africa, as is usually the case, but we are looking for one, Gauteng-based enterprises that we can vouch for, that have been validated, that can export into what you call it, Russia. We also are looking for Gauteng-based enterprises that can partner with our investors from Russia. So there are opportunities all over the place. You don't have to be a big player. You can do it even as a small businesses. We're not looking for billions of investments or anything like that. I'm actually very happy that Lufuna, hope I got your name, is here. You're like my bestie from today, because I deal with some of the issues that you're dealing with in terms of small businesses presenting their proposals, and there's a lag here and there. Some of them are looking for funding, and I hope we can collaborate going forward. We're also looking at business retention and expansion. If you're already in the space, you're already operating, you need to expand, we assist you there. We also deal with issues of trade promotion and export development. We run export development training for South African or Gauteng-based enterprises in particular when they want to export into other countries. That is one issue that I'll talk about mostly. And then we also do infrastructure, development of economic infrastructure in the province, as well as research information. So sometimes we need market intelligence information. We can assist here and there. We could move to the next slide. These are some of our services that we offer, because we don't only deal with local companies. You see that some of our services, they also include services that are offered to international companies, such as expediting the visa application process. We're not taking shortcuts, but we are just saying, if you come to us, then we're able to assist to make the process happen quicker. You may be a local company, you're looking for a site, or you're looking for a facility, or you're looking to do environmental impact studies. All those things can be a process, they can be a track. So we come in the space whereby instead of you taking 3 months to do a process, we try to shorten the process. Perhaps it can take you up to a month if you go through us. We deal issues of export development. We look at inward and outward missions, if there are investors coming from other countries, or if there are local companies that want to go into other countries, we come in that space and assist. So, as the GGDA, we have subsidiary companies. Next slide, please. We have subsidiary companies. I would say we have 4 of them, but the 5th one, sorry. We have about 4 of them. The first one, the 5th one, I'll explain how it comes into play. So the first one is called the Innovation Hub. It's based there by the CSIR. It's our subsidiary company. It mainly deals with innovation and research. So if you're a small startup, or you want to be incubated, you have an idea that is brilliant, you just need support in terms of incubation, we are your people. I'm currently assisting a startup of very young people from Northwest. They developed a prototype for a safety, I'll call it a safety equipment, something that has never been done globally. Currently, I'm in the process of assisting them to get their product to be tested and certified, and then to be used in the mine. They already have letters of intent with people lining up to actually buy their product. So they were incubated by the Innovation Hub since 2015. So those are some of the things that we do for small businesses and startups. We also have the AIDC, which is the Automotive Industrial Development Park. It's based there by Roslyn. That's where we manufacture we manufacture the BM. We currently attracted investment of over 3 billion by Nissan. The the investment was actually signed by the president sometime early this year. So if you're looking to invest in the automotive sector, you go there, everything is there, you just bring your money, there's land, there's facilities. If you need executives, they'll even source it for you. You need skilled labor, they'll even source it for you. All you need to do is just to bring the money. So that's one of the ways in which we're trying to make investing in Gauteng easier. We also have the Constitutional Hill, which deals mainly with the arts and the arts sector, if I should put it that way. It is that whole area of the youth and the drum where you have the constitutional court as well. So that's where our arts and industry is located. And then we have, I'll talk about the Gauteng IDZ, the Gauteng Industrial Development Zone. It's located at the airport. It's mainly focused on the manufacturing of light products that are suitable for export through the airplane. High value light in terms of weight. Industries such as jewelry. South Africa in particular is endowed with mineral resources, but most of it we export it in natural form without adding any value to it. So the Gauteng IDZ was specifically formed so that we have a jewelry hub where we take our mineral resources, add value before we export them. And lastly, we have the Invest SA Gauteng. Invest SA is actually, it used to be called Gauteng Investment Center. It's our subsidiary. It's a one-stop shop where we interact with our potential investors. So if you're an investor and you come to Gauteng, you want to invest, we don't want you to run around. Or even if you're already a local investor, we don't want you to run around. We want you to come to us and say, I want to invest in a facility to make chairs. We actually sit around you and say, what is it that you want? You want land? Okay, we'll assist you. You want to do environmental impact study? We'll bring the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development to assist you. You have issues with us, we try to resolve it. We have whatever particular issues that are in our space, we try to resolve. You need incentives because you're operating from an SEZ, we assist. We call it a one-stop shop because all you have to do is to come to us. All the other relevant departments and organizations that you have memorandum of understanding with, we bring them to you so that we fast-track the process. You don't have to go to ESCOM to deal with their issues from their office. ESCOM comes to you at our offices and say, what do you want, ma'am? You want to connect electricity? Where are your people? It's sorted. We make it easy like that. And that is how we basically operate as the GGDA. Next slide, please. And I want to talk more about the export development program that we run as the GGDA. This program is actually owned and run by the DTI, but we work hand in hand with the DTI. The DTI has the role of implementing the economic vision of the country. We are like a sister organization to them. So some of the programs that they run, we also run the same programs, but on a much smaller scale. One of the things that we are trying to achieve as the Gauteng government is to grow the economy. Is to grow the economy of Gauteng, and we cannot grow the economy of Gauteng if we are not producing. At the same time, we don't produce to only consume, we produce to sell outside of the country. So that is where the export development program comes in. What we do is we train small businesses that want to export to other countries. Mainly we are targeting African countries because Africa is not very industrialized. We target African countries, we assist you with what is it that you need to know, what is it that happens in the country, what kind of regulations and laws and and rules are in place in that particular country so that you don't go there and then mess up and then they kick you out. We also deal with other countries. Recently, which we're just holding a workshop with the American Chamber of Food or something. So they were telling us what are the standards, what are the processes that we have to go through if you were to export to the Americans and stuff like that. So those are some of the programs that we run. Part of the reason why, next slide please, why we, so this is how the program looks like. It's a 4-phase program and you have to go through it, all of it, in order for you to understand what is it that is involved. I'm not going to get into the details, but obviously there is the phase 1, which is more of an introductory part, and then the planning, which is phase 2, phase 3, how do you enter the market, phase 4, how do you export globally. This program is done in phases. If you are interested in the program, you can just drop us an email and then we'll give you all the required details. Next slide, please. So these are some of the export facilitation services that we offer. We'll give you advisory services on foreign markets targeting. So we'll tell you, when we develop our strategy, we look at which countries should we go to. So when we go into a country, we'll advise you. It's advisable to go for this particular product because sometimes we already have an MOU with with certain countries. They actually want to buy this type of goods from us. So it's advisable to already just go into that space because we won't be met with any difficulties. We look at things like lead outward selling missions. We go into other countries and promote our products. So we normally take our Gauteng-based enterprises with so that they go there and advertise their products. We are facilitating buying missions, also promote products and services of Gauteng companies globally. So we take a number of missions to other countries, either in South Africa, Europe, Asia, and whenever we do that, we also try to bring our local companies with. So if you need more information about the export training development program that we offer, you're welcome to talk to me after the program. But beyond this, I'm just going to briefly talk about some of the investment opportunities within Gauteng. It's a whole lot of them. I've just picked a few. If you could go down. Oh, sorry. This is the criteria that you need. It's not difficult. 2 years of business. You have all the required documents like valid tax, company profile. You have a registered company, and you have an import and export license. You have these basic requirements. You are a person, and will assist you to move your business forward. And the next slides from here, it's just purely what sectors we focus on. I'm not going to go into detail with that. These are the sectors that are mainly supported or driven by the Gauteng government because we realize that there's opportunities in there. And the next slide, we're looking at the investment opportunities in the Newtown precinct. As I said, the Newtown precinct is it falls under one of our subsidiary companies. So there we have opportunities that are within the Newtown development if you want to get into that space, either green energy, green infrastructure, if you want to do residential property or buildings or parking. There's no parking there, secure parking is necessary. And the next slide, we're looking at investments such as the aerospace, and the next slide it's just a whole lot of investment opportunities within Gauteng. So there's more of what we do. So I just gave just an overall picture of what is it that we do. Unfortunately, we're not really in the space of small business funding, so that is why I was saying to my colleague, I'm not sure if perhaps I'm in the right space, but I do think you may have gained something. I've realized that Gauteng Growth and Development Agency is not very well known, and I am hoping you'll spread the word of what is it that we do and how we support our local companies. Thank you.